Official
To
document.
Mr. Ibnu Wiboho Wayutomo, Deputy Chief of Mission and Chargé d'Affaires ad interim of the Republic of Indonesia. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, Director General, and distinguished delegates, let me take this opportunity to extend our sincere felicitations to His Excellency Ambassador Eduardo Ibarrola Nicolin in assuming the chairmanship of this year's Conference of States Parties. We are confident that under your able stewardship, our deliberations will lead to a successful outcome. My delegation wishes to commend Madam Chair, Ambassador Vezela Korak, for her chairmanship of last year's Conference of States Parties. My delegation's deep appreciation also goes to the Director General, Ambassador Ahmed Uzumcu, and to all of his team in the Technical Secretariat for the informative and comprehensive report delivered in this session. While my delegation wishes to associate itself with the statement made by Distinguished Ambassador of the Islamic Republic of Iran on behalf of the non-aligned movement, I would like to share Indonesia's views on issues that we believe are critical for the future of the OPCW. Mr. Chairman, we have seen a historical situation as the convention plays its purpose as the cornerstone to the promotion of international and regional peace and security. The convention's sole purpose is shown by the ratification of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar and the accession of the Republic of Angola, which is a significant step towards achieving universal adherence to the convention. Motivated by the recent momentous situation, Indonesia would like to reiterate all the remaining states outside the convention to accede to the convention without preconditions. Suffice to say, work on universality should always be continued with perseverance. In spite of the fact that the convention is one of the most successful multilateral instruments in the area of disarmament and non-proliferation, today's threat towards international peace and security continues to exist. The heinous acts that happened in Paris recently showed us that the risk of proliferation of chemical weapons and toxic chemicals used as a weapon either by state or non-state actors remains viable. All states parties, therefore, must keep their united efforts towards the elimination and prohibition of chemical weapons. In this regard, it is important to monitor closely the distribution of chemical agents, particularly on the dual-use agents. Indonesia believes that the mere assurance for this world to be free from chemical weapons is not only further enlargement of membership towards its universality, but also the full compliance by state parties to the convention. Mr. Chairman, while acknowledging the progress made on the destruction of chemical weapons by possessor states parties, Indonesia recalls that the destruction of the remaining chemical weapons should continue in accordance with the provisions of the Convention and its annex on implementation and verification. In this regard, necessary measures must be undertaken by all the possessor state parties to strictly comply with the Convention's obligation and relevant decisions that have been approved. Given the extensions of the deadlines for the destruction of chemical weapons by possessor states, it is therefore the time for them to reaffirm their commitment to pursue the complete destruction of chemical weapons in due course. Indonesia further notes that the deliberation of the issue of Syria have been made. Indonesia appreciates the impressive development achieved through the cooperation of the Syrian authorities with the OPCW for the progressive effort towards the final destruction of chemical weapons and their production facilities in Syria. Indonesia supports the continuance of the fact-finding mission in accordance with its mandate. We note that the fact-finding mission will be concluding its final report. Indonesia is of the view that substantial, impartial, objective, and thorough report is necessary in an end towards a peaceful and comprehensive solution. In sustaining this end, Indonesia also welcomes the establishment of the OPCW-UN Joint Investigative Mechanism. Indonesia expects that the Joint Investigative Mechanism could carry out its function in an objective, impartial, and professional manner with the full support from the government of Syrian Republic. Mr. Chairman, while taking its shared responsibilities to implement the Convention seriously, Indonesia believes that the implementation of the Convention should be carried out in such a way that the economic and technological activities in the states parties are not adversely affected. In this regard, my delegation believes that the OPCW will have a major role in helping the states parties to facilitate the fullest possible exchange of chemical technologies, expertise, scientific and technological information for the purposes not prohibited under the Convention, aimed at fostering economic development. All states parties and the OPCW should further engage with the chemical industries to promote a global chemical trade and strengthen mechanisms for consultation and cooperation to narrow down significant technological gaps among states parties. Therefore, Indonesia attaches high priority to the provisions of the Convention on International Cooperation and Assistance. Investment in this field will stimulate the interest of states parties in the years to come, and such cooperation will serve the long-term objective of the Convention. In view of the above, on the draft program and budget of the OPCW for 2016, our delegation wishes to highlight the importance of international cooperation and assistance. We believe that this would play an important role on the implementation of the Convention. Indonesia remains committed in fully supporting and sharing its expertise and experience with other states parties in need of assistance under the framework of the OPCW. It has been a privilege for Indonesia to have a long-standing cooperation with the Technical Secretariat, as well as many other state parties, through a number of training programs wherein expertise and best practices have been shared. Valuable input was also shared by Indonesia's representative in the Assistance Training and Protection course held in The Hague from the 26th of August until the 1st of September 2015. Together with the Technical Secretariat of the OPCW, we are now planning to hold a field exercise in the first half of 2016. Moreover, Indonesia stands ready to work with other states parties and the Technical Secretariat of the OPCW to develop and consider any concrete proposals on chemical safety and security, particularly in the Southeast Asia region. Mr. Chairman, by submitting these intentions, I would like to reiterate my delegation's readiness to engage constructively with all the state parties during this conference and do the utmost to make this conference a success in the spirit of transparency and inclusiveness. I request that the statement be circulated as an official document of the conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your statement.